crochet crowd. Inspire, create, and celebrate. Let's learn something.
Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. This is part 2, and it's the final part of doing this pumpkin, and we're using that colorful yarn. And right where I left you, I had you do 10 rounds of finishing off, and we're going to pick up from the pattern and work our way from here, going down to finish our pumpkin today. Let's pick up right here. Let's grab our sample using the same size hook, same yarn that you chose, and let's begin. We are working with the big pumpkin on today's pattern. So zooming out, this is where I am, and I have it done. You can see the colors are really working itself out nicely. We're going to pick up on the next round right where I showed you, and we're going to begin our journey to make this finished. Let's begin the next round. So we're technically on round number 19. Our goal on this round is to eliminate out one puff stitch. And how we're going to do that is that we're going to play in between the puff stitches. So our first one is after the puff, but before the next one, and it's in the space. And we're going to do our puff stitching that way. Okay, and don't forget to chain 1 to lock it. And then you go in between the next 2 and puff stitch. Chain 1 to lock it. Okay, chain 1 to lock it. Okay, chain 1 to lock it. And so you just keep on moving around, filling in those spaces between the puff stitches until you have 6 in a row. So we got one more, we got 5 so far. So we just have to do it one more time. Chain 1 to lock, and then you're going to single into the next single. And what that's done is that it's eliminated out one stitch, which is a puff stitch. So carrying on in the next here, so you're just going to jump after the first puff, so you'll puff in between each one of these with a total of 6 in a row, and then single into the next single. Please do this all the way around for round number 19. Round number 20. I've already moved up my stitch marker from the last round, and I single crocheted in the last single. So this time we want to eliminate another puff stitch so that there will only be 5 instead of 6. So you're going to jump after the first puff stitch and go into the space after it and apply a puff stitch. Chain 1 to lock and keep on doing that until you can see 5 in a row. Okay, and after you get the 5 in a row done, you're going to run into that single crochet anyway. So it felt like when we were doing those 10 rounds that it was taking a long time to do it, but this, every time we're touching it now, we're getting faster and faster. So 5 in a row, this is the single crochet, so single into the single to keep consistency. And then you just start again. So after the first puff is there, go right into the space before the next one and puff stitch and etc. And please do this all the way around for round number 20. I've come around to number 20, now 21. I've already got a single into the last single. I moved up my stitch marker. So last time we had 5 puff stitches in a row. We now only want 4. So puff after the first puff into the space. And you keep doing that until you can see 4 in a row. Don't forget to chain 1 to lock those, to suspend those into the air. So every time we're going around, it's going to get faster and faster until your pumpkin is done. So I got my 4 in a row. So there's the single crochet. So I'm going to jump over the last one, single into the single, and then start another group. It's a space, it's the puff after the first puff, and there's only 4 in a row, and etc. Please do this all the way around for this round. Okay, came around on number 21. I got a single into the last single, moved the stitch marker up. We're now going to eliminate out another puff stitch, and it'll be down to 3 this time around. So we skip after the first puff and puff into the next space. Chain 1 to lock. Puff into the next space. Chain 1 to lock. So there should only be 3 puff stitches in a row in each one of the sections. So chain 1 to lock. Okay, there's the last puff, so we don't want to do anything with that. We just want to go into the single and put in a single. Okay, so we've gone now from 4 down to 3. So starting in the new, it's a puff after the first puff into a space, do those 3 and then a single crochet, and etc. Please do this around for number 22. Okay, come all the way around, single to the last single, moved up the stitch marker. Round number 23. We have currently 3 puffs sitting there. We only want 2. So we're just going to come after the first puff and put in a puff into the space before the next puff. Chain 1 to lock and puff into the next space. Chain 1 to lock and a single into the next single. Okay, so we're going down from 3 down to 2. So after the first puff, you're going to puff, chain 1, then puff into the next space, and then you're already at the single crochet in between the sections. Please do this around for round number 23. I've come all the way around, I moved up my stitch marker, I singled into the last single. So now what we're going to do is that each puff stitch right in the top and the single crochet are all going to be a half double crochet all the way around. So we're going to have a total of 24 half double crochets. So go right to the top of the puff stitch and half double crochet, top of the next puff stitch, half double crochet, and then the single crochet is a half double crochet. And you're going to do that around. So the top of the puff for once, top of the next puff, and then the single crochet. Please do this all the way around for round number 24. Before you carry on, I need you with the existing hole to stuff your pumpkin now with the polyfill. So just grab your polyfill. Don't overstuff it to the point where the stuffing is bleeding outside this thing. And we're gonna have that done and I'll be right back in a moment. So I believe I have it done and I wanna make sure that I can still keep these somewhat lines on the top of this. So I believe this is the top of the pumpkin and what we're working on right now is the bottom here. So it is stretched here on the bottom, but it'll be sitting down anyway, so that's not a big deal. Let's move on to your next round. Round number 25. The next one will be a half double crochet. Use your fingers to block the polyfill from going into the stitch when you pull through. And then the next 2 are going to become 2 together for a half double crochet. So wrap the hook into the next stitch, wrap the hook, pull through, and then wrap the hook, next stitch, wrap the hook, pull through. You should see 5 loops in the hook, yarn over, pull through all 5, and you're going to do that around. So the next one is 1 half double crochet into the next, noticing that my hands are sliding in between the stitch work and the polyfill, and then the next 2 are together. So just go wrap and through, pull through, wrap and in, pull through, all of them, all 5. So please do this all the way around for round number 25. And finally, the last round, number 26, is going to be 2 together all the way around for half double crochet. Make sure that you have the right amount of stuffing in there because it'd be hard to push any stuffing into this at this point. So just wrapping the hook, going into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, go into the next stitch, so wrap and into the next, pull through all 5, and you keep doing that around. So 2 together for half double crochet around, and I'll see you at the end of the round where we're going to pull everything nice and tight and finish off the main base of this pumpkin. I've come all the way around, just do a little bit of a longer tail, and you need to put it through a tapestry needle because we need to collect the remaining stitches that are open here. So just pull this loop right open and out like this. You can pull your stitch marker out if you're confident that you're done. And you're going to put this through a tapestry needle and you're going to weave it through the remaining stitches that are here. Okay, so you just go in and out. So I just like to gather it and then I pull it all at the same time. I get a sick pleasure out of that, honestly. It's the small little things that can make you happy. Okay, and go back to where you started. And then what you're going to do is just pull. And now you're just going to allow this to tie itself into a knot. And we don't want this falling out at all, even though it's going to be the base of the pumpkin. So just jam it through and bring out the hook somewhere on the side, or the needle. Okay, so then the tail is definitely on the inside of the pumpkin, and then you can safely cut it here and then refluff your pumpkin. So let's turn this over. So let's put this pumpkin aside. We're now going to work on the stem. You can use any color. I'm going to use, I believe, taupe as my color by Red Heart here, Cafe Latte, sorry. I'll be using that for that, and then I'm going to be doing a curly vine using the Lush here by Bernat Super Value. Let's begin to do the stem next. So let's do the stem. So we're going to be starting at the top of the stem, working our way down. So let's create a little slip knot, and I'll be using the same size hook, 4.5mm size, US 7. I am going to keep a stitch marker handy. I am going to do a continuous revolution so we don't end up with a slip stitch on the side of the stem. So just chain 2, and let's begin our first round. Second chain from the hook, I want you to put in 8 single crochet. So we'll count those out together. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Pull up a loop, and I want you to place that stitch marker in there. That'll indicate when we're on the last stitch of each round. Okay, it's no different than what we did before. And let's begin round number 2 next. Round number 2, we're going to immediately jump to the first single crochet. If you're not sure which one it is, count 8 back from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Even as an experienced crocheter, I will always count back. So it's not about your time of service for being able to do that, as just counting. So place in 2 single crochet in each one of those 8 stitches. You have the stitch counts available to you on the pattern. If you want to download that, see the video description. You can have access to that as well. So 2 single crochet all the way to the last stitch that is marked with a stitch marker. On the last stitch here, there's 2 into that one as well. Move that stitch marker up, and we're now ready to go down the side of the stem. So we're currently on the top of the stem. So let's move on to round number 3. Number 3, we need to have the bend of the stem in order to go down the side immediately. So we're going to go into the back loop. So right now, when we go into both of the loops, that's a regular stitch. But if you go into the one that's furthest away from you only, that's a back loop, and it causes the fabric to bend. And you're going to apply 1 single crochet in each one of the back loops only. So just dive in between and just get the back loop only. And because we're not adding any more stitches, this will naturally bowl itself away from you. So just kind of bend it a bit, and you're going to go all the way to the stitch marker and move up the stitch marker. Okay, the stitch marker is here, so we're just going to move that stitch marker up to that last stitch. And we're moving on to round number 4 next. Now round number 4, we're going to go back to using both of the loops as regular stitch, and we're just going to single crochet ourselves around. So you're going to notice a definite line has happened in the front end here, which was caused by the back loops from the last round, which is what you're looking for. You don't hear me counting. I'm looking for that stitch marker to tell me when I'm done. Okay, so that's the last one. Move that stitch marker up. So here's my instruction for almost all of it except for the last round. So here my instruction. Rounds number 5 through 13, which is a total of 9 times, you're just going to single crochet a round. So just write it on your list from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Please write that on a list and then check it off as you pass that stitch marker. Okay, and then just do that, and I will see you at the end of round number 13. Let's begin round number 14, the final round. And in the next stitch, we need to do 1/2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 treble, 1 double crochet, and 1/2 all into the next stitch. So it's going to cause it the kind of like a stem look at the top of your pumpkin. So let's begin. We're going to, in the next stitch, it's a 1/2 double crochet, it's a double, to the same, treble, so wrap that hook twice, then a double into the same stitch, and then a 1/2. So that's all within one stitch. Now the next 3 here are each going to be a single crochet. So we have 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to repeat that same thing again. So in the next stitch, it starts with a 1/2, a double, a treble, a double, and then a 1/2. Okay, and now the next 3 stitches here are going to be single crochet each. Okay, and that's going to cause this look to appear on the top of the pumpkin. So very almost natural looking for fiber, I guess. Continue that same thing around. Once you come all the way back around, that's it. So just slip stitch to the next one because we've been going in a continuous revolution, and leave a long enough tail that you can use to sew that to the top of your pumpkin. Now you're going to want to put some fiber fill inside to hold it so it won't collapse when you're going to use it. And we're going to move on to the curly Q line in a moment. Let's do a curly Q, just leave a long tail. We might have to use that later. And we are going to chain just 20. So whatever color you decided to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So now we're going to come back across this chain, and we're going to do the same thing in every chain back. Starting second chain from the hook, so we got 1 and 2, turn it around to the back of the hump of the chain and place in 3 single crochet. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and this is going to naturally turn itself into a curly Q. So next stitch is right here, it's the back hump, and it's going to be 3 into that one as well. So let this naturally turn into a curly Q. Okay, go into your next one for 3 single crochet, and you're going to do that all the way across. So it's going to spiral up towards your hook. Just keep it out of the way, but let it spiral. And at the end of this, what we're going to do is just make sure it's spiraled properly by just pulling it out and making sure it's spinning the right direction. And then we can attach. If you would like to put more than 1 curly Q on your pumpkin, there's no crochet police. So do what you want and play however it makes you feel. So just see how it's curling and do that all the way across. So I've just come all the way across, 3 into each. Now humans, for whatever reason, like odd numbers. So whether you just want to place 1 curly Q, maybe 3, maybe 5, and if you want to be the oddball to only place in 2 or 4, because it's not an odd number, it's your business. So you want to position this in a way that it's going to make the top of the pumpkin look like it has sense. So we're going to start doing the assembly of the pumpkin next. We are now ready for assembly. What I would like to do is that this currently, it looks flat. So what I can do is that I can have it sink down, and I'm going to turn it to the other side. So this is the underside of the pumpkin, and I'm going to create a slip knot, my other hand here. and just create a tail. And I want to put this through a tapestry needle. Just around the bottom here, just loop it around and put it through the slip knot. And we'll deal with this other loose end later. Carefully, just go down through the center without poking yourself. Turn it back over and just keep pushing it down until it comes out of the top of the pumpkin. And pull up. Now the stem is going to be on top of this thing, so you don't have to worry about this so much. And you are going to just grab onto a little bit of it and go back down through the center of the pumpkin to the other side, close to where you were. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just pull on that, and it's going to pull the strand in. So if you keep pulling, it's going to pull it and sink it down. Okay, sorry about that. And so now I'm happy with that, and I'm just going to force it into a tie on this side, on the back, or the bottom, I should say. So now what I'm going to do is just put it through and just come out the side somewhere, and that'll take the tail end to the inside of the pumpkin, and you can safely trim that down. And now take the other loose end that you had, put it through a tapestry needle, and just go down through the pumpkin out to the side somewhere. That'll take the other strand to the inside of the pumpkin. So now you can turn it over, and you can see that you have it's sunken down. So let's take a look at our stems, and our stem, and then our little curlicue next. Now with our stem, we just kind of want to center it, and I don't necessarily want it straight up because no pumpkins really have a straight up thing. And I just want to secure this around. So find the end of that strand, and I just want to kind of sink it into the stitches. So stay within the same color. And you're going to go up and down through those stitches around the stem of the pumpkin. Okay, so just continue to go up and down. The shorter the distance, the more secure it will be. So depending on your application, of course, and then just keep on going around. Okay, and I'll be right back in a moment. Now, once you're all the way around, just secure it with the tie. I don't know why these roosters go off when I'm filming. They were quiet. So just go back and forth a total of 3 times inside the stem itself to get rid of that tail end. And the 3rd time I'm doing it, I'm just going to go down into the pumpkin and out somewhere on the side to take that tail end really in. That. And we can cut that, refluff, and now we just have the curlicue left. Just, okay, and one more curlicue to go next. So now you're just going to apply the curlicue, so just using the tail end wherever you think it should go. It's really kind of a personal choice. Just pull it in and around. Okay, and if you want it to be a certain way, you just got to make sure you secure it so it will hit and land the same way each time. Okay, I'm going back into the green to create a knot. And then I'm going to go inside the stem area and back out somewhere else. And we can trim that there. And refluff and more. And then you can just circle that back into itself, and therefore you would have your little pumpkin. So you just may want to just force it to bend. You can always wet it a little bit and let it air dry, and you have a nice little cute little pumpkin. So it's really neat using Red Heart Super Saver Bitty Stripes. Let me know how you do, and we'll see you again in the future. Bye-bye.